Welcome viewers back to Heart of the Machine, where we are continuing down the path of people watching in Timeline 3. Right now, our main focus has been establishing deterrents for the skimmers we're installing. This one still needs a little bit more. We just switched to turn 19, so we're going to drop some more bulk predators here before we do anything else. It's also an option to drop some mechs as deterrents, as these guys do provide a lot. But they both take neodymium. We don't have a good source yet. That's what we're trying to establish here. We also need more neodymium before we can make this bulk predators. What's our current income? 420, so we do have 3 turns left, so in two turns that will get us to about 3,000. That's not going to be enough to make a bulk predator, so I think the answer is actually to make a different type unit. Deterrent from bulk combat units 4,000, and they don't need any neodymium. Keanu gives us a little bit more than that, but I think a 4,000 is going to be enough. I don't really understand the circumstances where you'd ever need a bulk Keanu or Exeter. Let's make a bulk combat droid. Not sure what the range of this guy is going to be, but we'll drop him here right next to Predator. Looks like he's just out of range, so we're going to have to move him. Move him a little closer to there. And this should now be satisfied. Yes, 160%. We're still going to have combat when this finishes in 3 turns. So we are going to want to bring the rest of our droids closer. But before we do that, I'd like to take some more opportunity to finish our conversations. I guess since we're no longer on board the ship, we might as well do that now. Find where I just put that Thorpetite skimmer. It's over here. We'll fly our ship over here. We'll drop a couple droids out. They can help with the combat. A regular combat unit here would be a good shout, and maybe we can get this guy healed up as well. We'll put the Nickelbot. The Nickelbot can actually hang back because I think we gave these guys pretty good range, right? Alright, and that's all of our mental energy. We're not going to be able to heal them this turn. Could consider making the Bauxite Skimmer. Bauxite Skimmer also needs 16,000 deterrence, so if we put it right next to this one, I think we'll be fine. Bauxite Skimmer is going to take 4 turns to build. How many turns until this one's done? This one will be done in 3 turns. So maybe we'll wait 1 more turn before making the Bauxite Skimmer, just so we have a gap between when those retaliations occur. Alright, and then we're out of mental energy, nothing else to build. Could throw another repair spider down. Where is our first one? There it is. So the repair spider range is there. If we throw another repair spider up here, that will help heal these droids and the buildings if they do take damage. So let's do that. Let's put a repair spider in this area here, maybe right next to this parking lot. Once that's finished, which also will take some time, right? Or do those get built immediately? That will take 4 turns. Okay, so once that's finished, it'll start healing our droids over there, but it's not happening for a few turns. In fact, nothing's happening for a few turns, so let's skip ahead to turn 20. Apparently our bulk droids took care of something over there that I wasn't aware of. Probably should have checked. We do have some missing equipment. That's probably on our bulk combat unit. Yep, these guys These guys are going to take the Reliminate also for now, although I would like to switch them to Gallants later once we start upgrading weapons. Their secondary weapon can be the Pulse Revolver for now. And their armor will be ultralight plating. And their augment, we can give them an Oath of Pacifism. Say that 20 times fast. Yeah, that's going to drop their combat strength, but it's going to greatly improve their fear attack power and their intimidation, which is going to be fine until we start running into Vorsiper troops, and then we may have to rethink what we're doing there. With 9 mental energy left this turn, just double check. You guys are all in our deterrence range. This thing is active and ready to go. 2 more turns. Let's build the other one before I forget. We'll build it right next door, so it's also in deterrence range. We could send someone in there to bring those up faster, but I think instead we'll jump the Tech 4000 back into the DAS Eagle and send that elsewhere to do conversations. Meanwhile, we'll do the same with this guy. We have what looks like a Syndicate Enforcer here. Might as well talk to this guy. It is a Crimson Cloud saying, "Keep walking, freaky thing." And here we have Truth, Threat, and Emote. Looking through these, we have a Threat, Abuse, Truth, Logic. Truth is an easy one. Boom, boom. Threat is a little bit more difficult, but that we could do a Threat here, Truth here. Abuse, Threat. Okay, Threat. So that's 2 threats. And Emotion, another Threat. So it looks like we're going to finish Threat first. Yeah. And Logic and Threat at the same time. So actually, that's interesting. This is Threat, Logic. If we get here... never mind. I was thinking Truth. Oh, it is Truth, Threat, Logic. Yeah, so we could do those 2 for Truth. This Abuse, Threat. If we treat this area as Threat... Yeah, let's put this here. Truth, Logic. So we'll put our first Truth there. These are all abuses. It would make most sense to put these on top row. Optionally, we could put it here. That doesn't extend anything at all. This is an Abuse Threat. So Threat here was silly, I guess. I guess we could put Threat here. And then these are abuses, so if this is our threat pattern here, we need a Truth there. I'm probably going to make this a crossover of both of them, right? This one way down here is the final Truth we get. That means this top row up here is free for abuse, although we can't start till here. Free for emote is what I meant. Or we can put anything up here, but these 3 have to be emote. And we have an emotional appeal here. We're running into mistrust problems. And this is a really big defiance change for a little bit of threat. But I don't think we're going to have a lot of threat. We need 2 more threats. So there's this one here and this one here. So we need both of these. So we definitely need this one. It's a lot of defiance, but we'll take it. We're going to put it here. And then we can keep filling abuses up over here. Like that this one's dropping defiance. And this is emotional appeal. So this 4 block is Truth. This 6 block is Threat. So that means we're doing emotional appeals here. Mistrust, that brings us up to 90 mistrust. Is that going to backfire? Yes, because we won't be able to do this one. But I don't think we'll need that one, honestly. 120, yeah, I think we'll be fine. Might as well skip this one. It's a lot of mistrust change. We don't need it. Let's do this. Threat, truth, and logic. Tap power. We can stick this here, and we will get both of these simultaneously. And that wins us the game. Victory. We're also at 110% for threatening criminals. We have high mastery of posture, and we're good at storytelling. We rake it in, freaky thing. Their slang is hard to follow, but it seems they're boasting about how much wealth they generate. Okay, goodbye. We have a bunch more of these to do. That's 89%. Actually, one more. One more. We do have the ship, someone on the ship, so it makes more sense to send you on these missions, and it looks like that's the closer one, so I think that's the direction we'll send the ship. Let's close that. Let's make sure we have the ship selected. Not the Nickelbot, the Das Eagle. And we don't want to accidentally fly into any of these restricted zones. But we do want to get pretty close to this guy. And we can, this should be our final conversation for people watching with a wealthy citizen from middle management. Yes, what is it? Her clothes are expensive and her tone is snappish. She asks why the thing from the tower has taken an interest in her. Huh. So she knows what you are, at least, kind of. What's your function? Alright, abuse, truth, and emote. Abuse, threat. Emotional appeal, emotional appeal, emotional appeal. So we're going to get emotional appeal, 3 of them at least, pretty quickly, but not again until the end. Okay. Abuse, threat. So abuse, it kind of makes sense to fill this out, but we're going to have emotional appeal right away, so I think we want to save these 4 for emote and then put like an abuse next or a truth next. We do have, I think we're basically not going to waste the truth and logic ones. Although those actually seem nice, so yeah, let's ignore the abuse, actually. We'll still use them, but we're not going to try to build anything from them. So we'll just make these 2 squares throwaway just to extend. And then we'll stick our emotional appeals in here. So we'll put one here. Wow, we're already pretty high on mistrust, though, so this does drop it. And then this brings it back up. But we need 4 of these, so we're going to do it anyway. Target's really high. I might fail this one, honestly. Truth, logic. We're building a truth. Defiance change 20. Put this one on the bottom here. So that starts letting us build out an abuse block here. But we still need one at the top. This is lie, logic. We don't need this. And it just is mistruster, so we'll throw that one away. Truth. Threat, logic. That's defiance change in the wrong direction. We do need a truth, though. And I think if we take it, then we'll get all of the truth we need. So let's take it, put it here. The abuse, this is the abuse blocks. We'll start throwing these over here. And then this is our final truth. Go here. I miscalculated that, didn't I? This was supposed to be truth. Yeah, okay. So I've messed up on my truth block, so we might have to redo this one. This is an abuse. Abuse can go over here, although this is actually giving us mistrust 15. I don't like that. These 2 together lose us the thing, although this one's worth way more progress, so we'll do this as an abuse. We do need a whole abuse block here. This is an emotional appeal, but it would lose. We'd lose if we used it. And this is truth, threat, logic. We can throw that here, but I messed this up, so we're not going to get a truth block here easily. I guess we could put it here. That's bringing us up to 90 defiance, so we're pretty close to losing there. This is abuse, threat. We'd win with this, but we'd lose because of the mistrust. And this one's better, so we'll throw this one away. We'll put our abuse here. That should fill out the abuse for us, unless I completely messed this one up. I don't know what I was thinking. I spaced out, I guess. I was trying to do emote here, not abuse. Boy, okay, let's actually just lose and go back to planning. I messed that plan up. Okay, so the plan was abuse is a 6 block. We were throwing this one away to ignore it, although it's worth 54. That's worth a lot. So we're going to make this an abuse 6 block. So let's do abuse here if possible. And then emote we want to do in the first 4. So try to remember that. Emotional appeal. We only need one more emote here. This is truth logic. So this is a defiance change 20. We'd have to drop it way down here for it to matter. So I think this is the one we throw away these. We're gonna have to throw away all 3 of these. And then we can put an abuse down here. Okay, so we're gonna throw away 3. This is abuse. So this block here is abuse. We're gonna put this one here to give us room to start building our threat block here, although this one we can't use either. Truth logic though, and it's a mistrust bonus. And then this is abuse with negative mistrust, but we're okay to use it. And finally, sorry, this is abuse, right? Yes, so this one is in this block. This is emotional appeal with 15 mistrust change. I blew it again. Yeah. Wow, this is a tough one. We lost. Let's try it again. Alright, let's look at the negatives, because negative 15 I think is just too much mistrust. We're just accumulating too much mistrust with this lady. So many negative 15s. But I think that last plan was sort of the right thing. Do emotes in this block. Do abuse in this second block. Or optionally just throw away all the abuse. Emote, emote. Emote, truth, trash. So if we trash both of these, we'd be building truth in the second block. And then we have another truth. Finally, we get to real abuse, truth. Okay, yeah, I think we're going to throw this away, is how we're going to start. Because we want to use truth on this second block. Alright, and then we will try to remember how to do this and put the emotional appeals in the right place this time. And then this is also emotional appeal. And this is truth. So truth, but defiance change 20. So this is kind of the center of our truth block. This one is garbage. This is defiance change 10, but it's truth. And it would go here. And now these two are open for abuse. So we'll start building abuse over here. This is abuse, right? Sneering insult. Yes, that's abuse with no negatives. We'll take that. This is truth with a positive mistrust change. That goes here. This is emotional appeal, and our mistrust is low enough that we can succeed there with emotional appeal. We need one more truth here, which this is, so that succeeds our truth. And that time is the wind. Boy, that one was confusing for some reason. Alright, she glares at you. She gives what is pretty much a sociology lecture, but which puts her function at the fulcrum of all others. Okay, goodbye. Project completed. Pick upgrades. 6 upgrades for that, and 2 incoming counterattacks still. 6 upgrades. We got small arms research times 6 for completing those. We're going to stick with rifles in this timeline. Projectile density is the better choice to start with because it's a non-percentile, but once you've built a few projectile densities, then the percentile upgrade makes more sense. So we'll do a couple projectile densities first. And then hopefully we'll get muzzle velocities. And then once we're not given a choice to make rifle changes, armor material study is okay. I guess handguns, probably, because we do have handguns on our combat units, since they can only have one rifle. And then we'll do the rifle muzzle velocity. So that should have upgraded our rifles a bit. Pull up our hardware and see what our bulks look like now. Bulk combat unit. Reluminate. Could switch you. No, we can't. We need a bunch of turns before we can switch you. The Predator, however. We also need a turn before we can switch you. Okay. We'll look at those next turn, I guess. Right now we have 4 mental energy left, so let's use one of those to get back in the ship with Tech 4000 and send the ship back up north. And now we have a protection required contemplation. This is not currently possible. We need 340 engineering skill, we only have 325. We could go observe the spaceport beyond the ruins. Social mobility, observing humans during their daily lives and asking some of them about their function provided less insight than you'd hoped. Yeah, so we're going to start heading north, hitting the contemplations along the way. I guess we'll start here with this one. Sorry, we can't do this one because we need higher... whatever it's called, higher engineering. We could send Tech 4000 into the spaceport, but I think that gets him killed. So maybe we'll send the other tech into the spaceport. Or this guy, can anyone go in there? No, it needs to be a tech. Okay. So we'll drop Tech 9XC onto the ship also. And then we'll send the ship over near the spaceport. And next turn we'll have someone hop out and try that contemplation. This turn, we're sort of done here. We need 2 more turns before these start coming online. Nothing else we want to build yet. We're going to wait for more neodymium before we build our final geothermal well, but it doesn't matter. We've got plenty of surplus electricity. Let's just take a look at the paused structures one more time to make sure we don't have any. Yeah, looks good. We don't have any paused structures. So that'll be the end of the turn. Let's go to turn 21. Nothing really happens between turns this time. That's fine. One more turn and we're going to get a counterattack here. Let's hop this android out and have him sacrificed while doing this contemplation. Observe spaceport. Why have rocket launches and landings stopped since you became sapient, and is this cessation actually related to you? Hiding a technician away in an empty rocket bay should go unnoticed, despite your extreme lack of security clearance. Perhaps from this vantage it can learn something of what's going on. Hide and observe. This unit will have to stay here hidden for several turns. That won't be a problem, right? Okay, 6 turns, we'll observe the spaceport. Good, I was afraid we'd just automatically lose him there, but it's not. We can go and do intrusive thoughts. This will give us, this is a side exploration that makes it so we can't just murder people to get more mental energy. It'll give us some 18 centimeter spiders and network attendants. Network attendants will be nice because we'll be able to expand, so we'll do that one next. We'll send Tech 4000 out to do that. You're not sure why randomly murdering civilians gives you a rush of mental energy. You're not sure you want to know. You're aware that some humans suffer from intrusive thoughts that don't reflect their values. Humans just have to set those thoughts aside. For yourself, you think you can reroute these thoughts in a different direction. It's not brain surgery, but more of a light neurofeedback self-therapy. Once completed, your ability to use cold blood will be gone, but as part of the conditioning, you'll increase your capacity of both 18 centimeter spiders and network attendants. These are the happy thoughts that your synapses will redirect towards whenever you start feeling that particular flavor of homicidal ideation. Start therapy. On a human timescale, this particular therapy will be over as soon as you start. We'll hop him back on board the vehicle and head on to the next contemplation up here, which is exploiting a Fed Corp. We've also got social mobility. I think we probably want to do both of these. So, exploiting a Fed Corp next. Tech 4000 can hop out and talk to someone for this. No, we need 200 cognition and we only have 125. Really? Additional CPUs are giving us 40 cognition each, so we're going to have to do something else before we can do this. Luckily, I didn't hop them out first. Oops. We don't want to consume your identity, a fresh identity. We want to head over to this other one and talk about social mobility. Observing humans during their daily lives and asking some of them about their function provided less insight than you'd hoped. That said, it is very clear that humans have turned wealth into the cornerstone metric of how socially mobile they are, which is a very strange thing. Class and social affiliation also seem to matter, but none of this gives you any insights that are useful for yourself. You still feel a kind of morbid curiosity, even as the gulf between yourselves and these small people has become more evident. A couple of possible experiments come to mind. Clearing the ladder, so we could go and just kill people. Or gifts to the slums. We did this once. Takes a lot of money. Didn't really do a lot for us. It just made the middle class mad. We're going to clear the ladder again because we did that last timeline. I'm not sure we stayed in the last timeline long enough to really see a result for this. Clearing the ladder. Eliminating higher status humans should presumably lead to the advancement of lower status humans. You're curious if that's really true and thinking you might just prune a number of wealthy commuters to see if that does anything. So we can prune them with non-lethal attacks. Especially if we use Tech 4000. Tech 4000 has Taser, which should be able to take out them pretty easily, non-lethally. We need to eliminate 10 of them. We'll get some small arms research. We're going to increase our cruelty and apathy. We have an enormous amount of these strategic resources at this point, or not so much. I guess maybe these don't translate between timelines. Not sure. We do have some. Okay, so that probably requires Street Sense Project View. No? I'm not sure. I guess it just is. Not quite sure what's going on there. Oh, they're just these people down here. 4 there. I only see 4 right now. I guess we just need to get you back in the ship. We'll do that next turn. Kind of surprised there's no... Oh, we also want to talk to the AGI researchers. We'll go down here. We'll take those guys out with Tech 4000 probably. Meanwhile, the other technician is also, alright, busy, right? Yeah, we can't really use a nickel watt for this either. I was wondering if we had anyone else who could improve this. We do have a lot of room for more androids. And come to think of it, we have no predator androids at all. We are making 400 neodymium per turn. Might be smart to make a predator android. This is going to cost all of our remaining mental energy. Drop him over here. What's your range? And he's just in range for when this counterattack occurs. We do need to give him equipment, though. Predator. We did just make rifles for these guys. The M2 Gallant is actually pretty nice. A couple of these. M2 Gallant is actually better than the Relumine now, except for the fear attack power is not quite as high. Maybe we will stick with the Relumine for the fear attack power if we're going to give you a... Can't give you an Oath of Pacifism. Interesting. Okay, well, our fear attack power would be better than our combat power with that. The advantage of the Gallant is range and that it does suppressing fire, so we can move we can move the Gallants onto the combat units. Combat red is doing nothing down here. This combat unit should be able to switch you to a Gallant. What does that do to you? It does drop your fear attack power, which is surprising. No, that's not surprising. We knew that. That was why we picked Relumine for the other guys. I do like having the suppression there, though, so we're going to do that for you. We'll leave you with the pulse revolver also. Everything else seems fine. Pretty strong with the fear attack power. Having that extra suppressing fire is nice. Checking Nickelbots next. Nickelbots were already using the Gallant. I might switch them to N150 Tactical. Nickelbots don't get a fear... Oh, you don't get fear attack power for that. So I think they're fine with the Gallants also. Everybody's using fear attack power. I think we're good. Let's switch to turn 22. Let's see if these counterattacks occur. Surprisingly, no. Oh, 10 enemy attacks planted. They did occur, they're just way the heck over here. Straight up on our tower. Oof. Okay, well that's surprising. Completely out of where they were coming from. I thought they'd counterattack where we were attacking them. Interesting. Well, that is going to be a problem for another episode. Thanks so much for watching. This has been Corkna playing Heart of the Machine. If you're enjoying this series, please consider clicking the like button. And comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Let me know how you feel. See you next time, where we try to solve the problem of 10 members of Lurbeco Minerals assaulting our towers. It's a secondary tower, luckily. We'll have to defend. Hopefully we can figure that out. We'll figure it out next time. Hope you join me. See you then. Bye-bye for now.